What's going on, guys?
Welcome back to the Gala Empire.
I hope you guys
got a lot accomplished. If you have not already, stop this video right now. Click that link for you to go check out our video on what it's like being women's basketball coaches before you get into this one.
Right, because that is a great video, but this is another video on how to be a great men's basketball coach, what it takes, what it's like, what's the feeling, what's the behind the scenes, all of that.
What you should know.
Yeah, and what you should know. If you love content like this and you love sports in general, please don't forget to
like, comment, subscribe, so you can be post notified every single time and never miss out on the content that you need.
Right, but let's get right into it. Getting right into it, the first thing I want to mention that is the hardest part, especially when dealing with men in general, is that ego and pride. A lot of guys come in, coming from different coaches, coming from different programs, backgrounds, everything, and they've been playing basketball for a good amount of time. We're in the high school space. They feel like they know a lot. They feel like they're coming in with their skill. They already know their strengths. They feel like they could come in and add value right away, and they just feel like they know everything about their position or about what they have to do. So you really gotta break that ego down and say, listen, I understand you are a great player or you feel like you are good at what you do, but how can you bring that to help us as a team? And I feel like that is the biggest coming together as a coach and a player on how can we work together instead of you being the superstar taking over the show.
Exactly. I feel like there is a lot of coaches who stem off that way. A lot of men coaches who have that pride. Oh, I've been coaching for 25 years, 35 years, and it's no real success behind your story. It's no real life-changing moments that could help these players right now that are currently on your roster, So it's like finding new energy, being that new energy, being that new open ear, being the person that's there to listen to everybody, take in what's being presented, something new. Because being in a new environment, you don't want to be the one, beyond basketball, you never want to be that person that's I know everything. People hate that. A lot of people dislike that about people, and I guarantee you probably wouldn't have that many friends or people that are willing to mentor, coach you, because it is important to be an open ear. Listen more than you talk.
Right. That is a big one. A lot of athletes and coaches, like, they just want to tell you what they know and what worked for them. But I feel like if you're coaching, and it's not all about the competition aspect, it's about how can we help each other. And that could be from one coach to the next coach, one player for the next player, and I feel like that overall builds the culture in the basketball space. And I feel like another thing is that the pride, you bring in other people down because you feel more prideful, you feel better, but the lack of it is you don't even know how to bring up others. If you're good at one skill and another person is struggling, you rather talk down on them because you're good at it than to actually bring them up. And that goes with the whole basketball culture in general when it comes to the men's culture. And I want that to change genuinely. But I do love the competitive nature. It's just that it has to be more of a positive, more of a healthy competitive spirit when it comes to that part.
As a coach of a boys team, I do feel like discipline is one thing you're really going to have to deal with, whether it's good discipline or whether it's you really have to structure what you want on your team and not. I feel like that really is important on what you accept from the beginning, from the get-go. Whether it's a transfer, someone is new joining your team, the standards should be set. Whether it's totally new, you're going into an organization to be a new coach, your standards should be set as a coach, and that's what you should live and die by. Because we've seen coaches struggle with what they've accepted and it just gets out of hand, Right. So discipline, especially when it comes for men, it's like men take more time to mature compared to women's basketball. So I do feel like the discipline, if you're able to crack through the ones who don't have an ego, the ones who don't have that pride, and you keep that on your team, now you can move forward with disciplining them, and not just discipline as in capital punishment, but discipline in teaching morals, teaching values, teaching life lessons that actually help them, implement in their day-to-day lives, and of course add on to the basketball court.
Right. And another big thing is that you're dealing with the youth. So they're always going to be trying to test you on, are you going to really capitalize or confirm on what you say? Is your word everything? Like if I, try your word and, everybody's watching you. Everybody's understanding how are you going to respond. So you really got to be focusing on this is how it's going to go. This is the structure. Because when it comes to game time, all of that shows. All of that is going to reveal itself on how you practice, how you discipline. Because then everybody's going to be like, oh man, this is not a disciplined team. This team don't know what they're doing. Then let's just run up the points. Let's just beat them because they're not ready to work together. So when you know, and then that's all basketball is working together. And if everybody's not on the same page, then you got a trouble coming for you. You're beating yourself at that point. So that is the biggest thing. And once they understand that, then everything else kind of flows.
Right. And in order to nitpick and see which ones are the ones you want to take, because all of this takes time. And in order to see which of the teammates, of course, you really want to keep in discipline and build morally, spiritually, and everything else that follows. You have to find the coachable ones, the one that are willing to listen when you talk, the one who are questioning positively, but coach, this and this and this, wanting to learn more, wanting to know more, and the ones that want to be around you and be influenced by what you have to say, what you want to work on, what you want to do, and they're promoting it to the new ones that are coming. They're promoting it to the ones in their school. That makes a big difference, and those are the kids that you want on your team.
Right. And I feel like the biggest struggle as coaches is that when you have a great player that's going to help you win games, that's going to bring something, that's your best scorer, your best point guard, your best center, whatever, they give you it day in and day out, but they're the worst character. Like they have the worst character. You can't tell them what to do. They feel like they know everything, and the whole team looks up to them because they are one of the best players on the team.
But they're not even knowing that, like, the character means everything.
Right. And I feel like that is something that us coaches, as us, like, we have to tell them, like, your character matters more than how you play. The way you are as a person is way more valuable than you as a player. Because to be honest with you, 95% or 99% of athletes make it to the highest level. And they all have to have, at a certain degree, a great character so that they get that opportunity. So when it comes to the grades and everything like that, you really got to be on top of that, because you don't want to waste your time and the efforts that you're going to be putting in and pouring out onto the players to go to waste because they get like in trouble or something like that. So that is something that really must be emphasized on.
Right. And then once you get to that point, you're able to cancel out the ones with the egos and the pride. You're able to discipline the coachable players, and now you're able to build a culture, right? This culture that you're able to build is going to be backed up by everybody that's on that team, and they're going to be the ones promoting it by the way they play, by the way they talk, by the way they walk, by the way everything that they do will represent what you've taught them. And you really want to build trust.
Yes.
Build trust with your players, because if they trust you, they will go the extra mile for everything.
Right.
If they trust you, they would give you all that they have.
Right.
Every time they come to practice, every time they're around you.
Yes, and then once they start trusting you, they're going to learn how to actually trust their teammates. They're going to learn how to actually share more. Like sharing is the biggest thing. When you give, you're going to get something in return. So understanding that, okay, my coach is giving his all, I'm gonna start giving my all, and not only to the coach but to my teammates. And that's how you build. And the beauty thing about basketball is you not only learn how to build a team, but you build a little family around each other. You build a culture. It becomes a brotherhood, and in the women's basketball culture becomes a sisterhood. Like everybody starting to gravitate towards each other. You find them actually bonding outside of basketball. So that is very important because it really translates onto the court.
Right, and in order to build the trust with your team, it's important to lead by example. It's important to invest in yourself and invest in them. Finding you have a season coming up, getting your schedule together, going out to all the games to make sure that you're prepared as a coach for the competition and your team is prepared for the competition. Putting in the extra work to talk to coaches, network, to see what could help your team become the best team that they can be. And your players will really appreciate that because they know when they're talking to their other friends at other schools and different organizations, it's not like that over there, but coach is doing that here. And so that culture really starts to spread everywhere,
Yes.
And your name starts to get spoken of. And that's when everything gets fun. That's the good side of prideful.
Right, that is. And you understand that it really is about the experience. Like when we think about the best teams in high school basketball, they have the NBA experience in high school. So it all goes down to what's your experience like as a player, as a coach, and that translates to making more players and more people want to be a part of the culture that you're trying to stir up and build. And that's the foundation of building a great, solid team, is not only building that trust, but building what is it like when they're coaching with you or being around you compared to all the other teams that they're around. And then once they understand that difference, you got it.
Exactly. Once you solve them, they will never want to go to another coach, no matter what type of recruiting comes their way. It's just about being the best version of yourself, investing in your knowledge and investing in the team. Right. Once you're able to do that, I feel like you will get the respect. You will get the return on your investment.
Yes, you definitely will.
You definitely will.
And it does trickle down to actually winning. It does get to that point where it all unfolds, and once you do all of those 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, you're going to get to that step where it's like, man, winning becomes easier. You're learning that the team is actually there doing what they all have to do. You don't even got to come to practice as a coach no more. They start running the practices for you. You just got to say 1 or 2 things. They're doing what they have to say. And what you started off building, as you go more into the later of the season, that's when it starts to get more fun, and you get to actually build a relationship not only as a coach but as as a mentor, and it gets deeper than basketball, and that's where you want to go.
That's where it becomes easier, honestly. But it's important that you go through all those steps to nitpick, discipline. Remove, find your flaws in yourself too. Be coachable yourself as a coach.
Right.
Be coachable yourself so that you're able to learn, you're able to instill, and you're able to provide what they need. And right. I feel like once you're able to do that, you can and will be a successful coach.
Yeah, and the feedback of what you said, the players are going to tell you what they want.
Yes.
The players, not saying you give them always what they want, because it's always not the best thing, but you realize when you and listen to them, and they know that you have an open ear to what they have to say, then it becomes a really great relationship and respect. And it's like, okay, I know I got to get this done to get what I want. And that's what you want. You want to be able to feed off of them so they can feed off of you. And that's the relationship you're trying to build a great culture.
Yep. So overall, guys, comment down below if you have any questions on what it's like being boys basketball, men's basketball coaches. Let us know if you are one. Comment down below what team, where are you in the world, and we really would appreciate that feedback.
Yes, we would love to build our network. And guys, thanks for watching this far. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to
like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, to be notified every single time that we post. Please press that bell. And also, if you want to check us out on any social media, you can check it out on @GalaTraining. We are there. DM us if you've seen us or you like the content that we're putting out. But we'll definitely see you in the next one.